You. What's good with y'all, bro? What's good with y'all, man? Shout out to y'all. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest here. I did not think if you would have asked me this a year ago, maybe 2, 3 years ago, that I was gonna do doing a video on James Harden. I guess too much disrespect. I would have said you was crazy. But things change, man. Things change. Hustle, salute to you, brother. Been a long time, man. We're grinding again, rebuilding the platform. And I've been enjoying the ride. I'm not going to lie. I think it's nice and mellow right now, nice and chill. I like where it's at. I'm chilling. You feel me? I'm chilling. And I think it's good. All glory to God, man. Thank God for everything. Thank Jesus for it all, man. No, I'm enjoying it right now. But shout out to Daniel, man. Great guy, great member, been here for a while. But yeah, James Harden, man, in my lifetime, I think I've been very unfair to him. And yeah, I think we gotta talk about him because James Harden really, it's weird. Like, James Harden is one of the craziest players we've seen. And I don't think people really give him that much respect, right? Like, you had a guy I was literally averaging 35 on 8. Like, the guy can almost give you 40 on one night. And at the same time, bro, he's probably dropping like 9, 10 assists. Like, every night, every single night. When Russ was averaging his triple doubles, you want to know who was right there with him? Bro, James Harden was right there with him year in and year out, bro. Like, he wasn't getting a triple double, but he was like 30, 39 and 8. He wasn't getting the rebounds like that. He was like 39 and 7. My bad, not 8. 39 and 7, bro. And, it's like, bro, James Harden was something special, bro. James Harden was really something special, bro. And I don't think too many people really talk about it enough. And especially where people rank him all time, I think James Harden is one of those players that gets criticized way too much for like losing in the playoffs and like never winning a ring. It's weird. And even in some conversations with Allen Iverson, I've heard Allen Iverson conversations with James Harden. I guess we'll start off with that. Like, the AI and James Harden combos, I think now from speaking on it, if I'm going to be completely honest and objective here, as best as I could possibly be in like these types of scenarios, like James Harden and AI, it's like, to me, they're right there with each other. But honestly, if you're going to ask me, I mean, a guy who, listen, James is a guy who can literally, on all three levels, like, he breaks the game too. James Harden also breaks the game with his ability to score. The issue with James Harden that really hurts him in the postseason is that it's very redundant. Where I think Gilbert Arenas actually said this in his podcast, and I actually agreed. Where, when you're attacking on top of the key, and this isn't even just his fault. This is like coaching and everything. But when you're attacking on top of the key and just you're just having one guy work and he's doing this. James Harden literally spamming the same things over and over again. You know what's coming. He's not taking the mid range. They're guarding him from behind. That's literally what they did. And think about that. Like, in order to guard James Harden, it wasn't you stay in front of him. You stay on his hip to the back so he doesn't do a step back. That's how crazy James Harden was. James Harden was a guy where literally it was not correct of you to sit here and guard him up front. You had to sit here and literally stand behind him and make sure he don't step back because he's not taking the mid-range. So that's like James Harden's fault too. Because you're not taking the mid-range, but also that's coaching because Mike D'Antoni don't want to take a mid-range. So what are we doing? Weird, all right? So you stand behind him and force him into the double team, and then you just, you send the help and then recover. Help and recover. It's it's more easier to help and recover in scenarios like that. It really is. It's very easy where you just got one guy driving and kicking or heavy isolation. And then all you have to do is help and recover. You're really doing a defensive favor when you're attacking like that, in my opinion. So that's not solely on James Harden, in my opinion. That's really coaching and all of that. When we look at the talent and what he brings, dog, like, when we go back to the Allen Iverson and AI combo, when you have a guy that can, like, he's one of the best three-point shooters ever too. And people don't give him that credit either. Like, to me, James Harden doesn't get enough credit for being one of the best three-point shooters in NBA history. He's top 10 without a doubt. When you're shooting off platform like that, when you're shooting in the variety of different ways like he's shooting, and even the distance that he's shooting from as well, and he does it at a high clip. James Harden, without a doubt, to me, is probably a top 10 three-point shooter in NBA history, shooter in general. So he doesn't get credit for that. And that's something Allen Iverson didn't really have to his game like that. AI was a good a solid mid-range shooter, but the three-point shooting wasn't there. Mid-range shooting was good. AI is one of the best finishers in NBA history as well. I solely believe that. One of the best finishers we've ever seen. I think he's a better finisher than James Harden too. But James Harden is still a great finisher. So James Harden, great finisher, great ball handler. He's a better passer and facilitator than Allen Iverson too. And he's a bigger body, so you have a bigger body, better passer, better facilitator, better shooter. And when we're talking about scoring, AI is a great scorer too. But it's like they're right there with each other. I think James Harden just gets a slight edge over there just because of variety. So you got a guy who's arguably a better scorer, hands down better passer facilitator, with a bigger frame. I mean, it's James Harden. It's a no-brainer for me. It's a no-brainer for James Harden to be better than him. Now, if you want to say who's more iconic, Allen Iverson is more iconic than James Harden, without a doubt in my mind, especially what he represented to the Philadelphia Sixers, going to the finals, giving the Lakers their only loss. Bro, disgusting. Disgusting. But James Harden is a guy that has proven to not only handle things from a shooting guard perspective, but he's even transitioned now in his career to more of a point guard perspective. He has that ability to do that. That Allen Iverson, I just don't think he has that the way James Harden does. So to me, I would probably ride with James Harden without a doubt in my mind. Without a doubt in my mind. But James Harden gets so criticized for not winning. It's weird for me. This guy played in the Western Conference Finals. Like in his peak, this guy was going up against the Golden State Warriors, bro. He majority of the times he lost was to the Golden State Warriors. So why does he get like? I'm sorry, we ought to be consistent here. Y'all don't kill or criticize LeBron James for losing to the Golden State Warriors. Why are you doing it with James Harden? And if you're gonna give me that nonsense about they lost a record number of threes. They missed a record number of threes in Game 7. Bro, the fact they're going to Game 7 with KD, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Stephen Curry, they've taken that team to Game 7, bro. And mind you, his second co-star got hurt. Why are we using that game to criticize him? To hurt him. And y'all acting like he was the only one missing. We acting like he was the only one bricking. It's weird. It's weird. It's very weird, bro. And it doesn't really make sense to me. It really don't make sense to me. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Come on now. Actually, I want to answer this question. Caught me off guard. Devil, question. If you miss talking hoop, why not just link with PC on a periodic basis? My schedule don't fit with theirs. My schedule don't fit at all with theirs. They do the daytime. I work in the daytime. I'm good. Maybe I could do some stuff here and there, but I don't think I want to clarify for everybody. Me doing everything and coming back to the space. It's not really. Listen, that's something God pushed me for. That's something Jesus pushed me for. You feel me? I was completely fine with doing what I was doing. Jesus pushed me to this, and if he's pushing me to do stuff like this, by all means, all glory to him, man. I'm going to do what he wants me to do. Simple as that. But, so, I mean, like I'm not really doing – I don't really care about the clicks and views. I really don't care about it like that, honestly. I make money just fine doing other stuff. I really just do this because, I feel called. I need to do it. And maybe if this is a way to spread Jesus' message, man, by all means, I'm all here for it, Jesus is my God, bro. So it's my God, So I do what he wants me to do. Simple. So That's so. I mean, that's not something I haven't even talked to them about doing some stuff periodically with them. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know if I feel called to. If not, it don't matter. It really don't. I come here, I talk about what I feel like talking about. Simple as that. I do what I want. And I love it. I do what I want. It's great. So yeah, it's not really something I'm really pushing for. We'll see if I won't deny the opportunity though if it happens, but if it don't, it don't. If it do, it do. That's one. Let's get back to the topic with James Harden. So yeah, James Harden going to game set, like he kept losing to the Golden State Warriors, and no one criticizes LeBron James for the same exact thing. And that's something where in NBA history, like people have to stop doing. Like there's only one winner. There's only one champion every year. Only one. And when these other guys, right? When you have your James Hardens, when you have your Chris Pauls, Karl Malones, John Stockton, right? And I'm just using them as examples right now. Steve Nash. These are great all-time players. No doubt about it. Great all-time players. But you got to understand something, especially when we're under the idea of one champion, right? When you got guys like LeBron playing in your league, when you got guys like Kobe playing in your league, you got guys like MJ playing in your league, bro, let me tell you something. You know how difficult it is to win that over those guys? Those are some of the best players we've seen. Tim Duncan's, Shaq's, like those are like the upper echelon. Like I believe there's tiers. You have like your S tiers, your GOAT tiers, your elite tiers, and then A tiers, you know? When I look at just players in general, there's only one champion. There's only one. And a lot of those times, those champions are on dynasty teams. And they're able to just keep winning because they're that much better than everyone else, right? So why are we criticizing guys like James Harden, Chris Paul, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Steve Nash for not being better and winning over those upper echelon guys? Like we all know, like it's just one winner every year. So them not being able to eclipse them, I think is a disservice to what those guys provide. James Harden specifically. James Harden's one of the, I'm not going to lie, James Harden's one of the best, craziest offensive players we have ever seen. And he doesn't get enough respect for that. Like he's up there with Curry. He's up there with Jokic. He's up there with LeBron. Like he's one of the wildest offensive players we have ever seen in this game. When you have a guy who can sit here and drop 35 and at the same time dish out 7 to 8 assists for your team and control the offense for your crew, bro, that's special. When you have a guy that's literally changing how defenders are playing defense by standing behind you, that's how they have to play good defense, by standing behind you, bro. You're a crazy offensive player. You know? And again, like James Harden's that guy, that step back, bro, when he got 3 people in his face, man, what can you do to that? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do with a guy like James Harden when he's playing like that, when he's on, bro, he's insane. And he doesn't get talked about much as much as being in the Jokic tier, the Steph tier, the LeBron tier in terms of offense. And I do believe he's probably in that area. If he's not in that area, he's probably like right below it, like right up there. But man, it's insane. Let me read this real quick. There's one winner, but when all-time great players show you what they're capable of their heights, it's okay to expect it. And I think James Harden, right? And I think that's fair. And I think that's why James Harden gets criticized a lot, Devo, where, James Harden, I mean, you just can't lie. A lot of the times in the playoffs and in the big moments, he has come up short. I think there's a lot that goes into that than just him as a player, though. I kind of scratched on it before with the coaching and everything. I think Mike D'Antoni's like a great coach, revolutionary coach. But when you're having an offense like that with James Harden, and you're just doing that dribble, dribble, dribble on top of the key, like you become very predictable as a team, very predictable. And you're solely relying on the law of averages. And that's what happened in game 7 versus the Golden State Warriors. You're not changing anything up. You're just solely relying on these are eventually going to come in. They're eventually going to go in. And, that led to their downfall in 2018. And Chris Paul being hurt. And that's why I said when Chris Paul got hurt, Chris Paul is so good in a way because Chris Paul knows he's so special, bro. He knows how to read the game and understand momentum shifts, right? So Chris Paul is a guy where, okay, he'll be able to see that they're about to go on a cold stretch. And then that's when he'll start working more in the mid-range. That's when he'll start getting, even though those wide open threes are easy looks, he'll start working around it to get the offense going, trying to do other things, easier looks at the basket, trying to manipulate the game in any type of way like that to gain momentum. Like basketball is a game of runs and it's a game of momentum. And Chris Paul, I think Chris Paul is one of the greatest managers of that. He knows how to manage the game. He knows how to manage tempo and control momentum. He really does. He's really great at that. I got to give him credit for that, right? So CP3 was a great addition to them in 2018 because he balanced it out for them. 2018, 2019, he was hurt. So then all the blame got on him. Weird. But 2019, they were hurt, so they got cooked by the Golden State Warriors, even without KD. But in 2018, man, they really needed that in those last few games. So James Harden just doing that dribble stuff. That's why his percentages, go low. Because one, he's a jump shooter. He's a jump shooter one. So of course, Steph Curry's a victim of this as well. When you're a jump shooter, your percentages definitely go down, and they're not as high as your LeBrons or MJs when they're able to get more looks at the rim, right? So when James Harden's heavy isolation, taking a lot of jump shots, but even that, the positioning of the court matters a lot. It's just so easy to game plan on them. So James Harden not showing up, there's more things that goes into that than just him not showing up, and that's just how I look at it. It's a team sport. It's a team sport. Even the shots you generate, a lot of the time, that shot you're coming up with in a game is generated from a whole entire system and a whole entire offense. So it's kind of hard to just put everything on one player because your stats in general is a product of what team you're on as well. It's not just you. It's not solely 100% you. It's also a product of the team. Let me see. 2019 Rockets lost Trevor. Yes, they did lose Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza did play great defensively in that game. That was the biggest loss. The 2018 Rockets were that great. Nah, you're right. This is also underrated in 2019. This is good. I forgot about this actually. Yeah, Trevor Ariza losing. Losing Trevor Ariza and them not being as switchable as they were the year before definitely hurt them in the long run as well. CP3 being hurt, Trevor Ariza. Yeah, that's a great point. Great point. Where was I at with James? We were talking about him failing in the playoffs. But just because he failed in the playoffs, I'm not going to take away from who he is as a player. Playoffs are tough. Playoffs are really tough. They're very tough to win. They're very tough. I mean, to play those games after a full season is tough. And this is what I want NBA fans to stop doing. Can we stop acting like the regular season don't matter? Clip that. Can we stop acting like the regular season doesn't matter? What they do in the regular season means absolutely nothing? Heck no, bro. What is Shea? Just because Shea didn't win last year, right? We're going to sit here and if he didn't win last year, we're going to act as if what? Him being an all-NBA defender, being an MVP and a scoring title, we're just going to act like that means nothing? No, bro, that's not right. And they do the same thing to James Harden. What? Just because he didn't win his 35 and 8 and 7 That don't mean nothing. His historic runs don't mean anything. His months when he's going crazy don't mean anything. No. Because there's a bunch of players that's not even capable or even not even thinking that they're even capable of doing what he's being able to do. So why are we taking away from that just because he didn't win? Make the regular season matter again, bro. Like, enjoy the sport. That's a part of enjoying the sport. Enjoying the regular season. Enjoying the regular season, man. People don't enjoy it. People don't. Oh no, Devo, I just set that as a point. Was he an All-NBA defender? I thought he was last year, right? Oh, Shea. All-NBA. Shea was an All-NBA defender last year? Am I tweaking? Yo, let me know. Let me know. Was he? I may be tweaking. Because I didn't pay attention to all of the accolades last year. Oh, he wasn't. I thought he was. I could have swore he was. I'm tweaking. Oh, it was J-Dub. I'm tweaking, bro. But still, you get the point with Shea's not defense, but with everything he did last year shouldn't mean anything just because he didn't win. I'm tweaking with that. My bad. Yeah, it shouldn't mean that. It shouldn't degrade that player. Russ averaging triple doubles, I think, is one of the craziest things. Russ doesn't get degraded for averaging those triple doubles and not winning. Actually, he does to an extent. Let me not lie. He does to an extent. But people don't take that away from him. They don't act as if him doing that was nothing. You know? They don't. They're starting to do that with Joel Embiid. Just because he ain't win, bro, the fact this man is leading the league in scoring and play the way he plays, like they're acting as if it means nothing. And it's sad because I think this is the generation where, yeah, this is the main generation where they're doing that to. When you look in the past, that doesn't really happen with everyone. Dominique Wilkins still gets praise. Don't know how if he never won, but Dominique Wilkins still gets praised. John Stockton still gets praised for what? Having the most assists and steals. But guess what? He ain't win nothing. So you got to sit here and praise that if you value the regular season. So they don't take away what John Stockton has done. They don't take away what Karl Malone has done. Like all the players pre-2000s, screw it. Like they still get held, Charles Barkley, they still get held to a very high regard for everything they've done in the regular season. So why is it with these new players coming up? Why is it that the new generation coming up, we're killing all of these guys who's better than those guys back in the 90s and the 80s? We're killing them now more than you guys were killing them back then. That don't make sense. And James Harden is a perfect example of that. AI didn't win anything. AI didn't win nothing. He went to one finals. AI went to one finals. And people think just because he went to one finals, that frigging, he was like, I'm not, oof. But they just act like he's some sort of like, I don't know. Like James Harden is just not on that level at all, just because he made to the finals. Come on now. Come on. That don't make sense. But with James Harden, we're just going to kill his entire career just because he kept losing to the Golden State Warriors. AI was barely making it out the first round. If we really want to talk about it and really want to get nasty, he was barely making it out the first round, year in, year out. He was always getting bounced out the first round. No one ever talks about it. But they want to kill James Harden for losing to the Golden State Warriors. Come on. Be consistent. Just be consistent at least. That's all I ask for. Just be consistent. That's just wrong. You're not holding these guys to the same standard. Because it's also weird to me. Like, you praise Jason Kidd, you praise Allen Iverson for making the finals, but when LeBron's making this like 7-8 straight, you kill him for that. Like, what the heck? That's like some of the most backwards things I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, this guy we're praising for making the finals. But this game, LeBron making it to this many straight finals, nah, he don't get no praise for it. That's what he's supposed to do. Well, keep the same energy. Screw it. AI, you that great of a player? Cool. You supposed to make it to the finals, fam. Jason Kidd, you that great of a player? Yeah, I'm not gonna praise you for making the back-to-back finals. You supposed to be doing that, bro. Karl Malone, you supposed to make it to back-to-back finals, bro. I'm not gonna praise you for losing to MJ. Why would I praise you for that? That's how they sound, bro. That's how they sound. What is these guys talking about? This wins and losses stuff don't be making sense, man. And it don't make sense because they don't be consistent, bro. Come on, man. Talk to me, man. I can't be talking to myself. I can't just be talking to myself here, bro. I be on some nonsense, dog. That don't make no sense. No sense to me. And yeah. The thing is, I think James played good in that series, though. Like, I don't think that was because of James. Hold, Devil, let me pull up the stats for you. Because in 2019, I thought they was probably going to win too. But I don't think they lost because of they didn't lose because of what's his name? Of James Harden. Let me double check. Yeah, James Harden averaged 35, dog. He averaged 35 and 6 on what, 45 and 35? That's pretty solid. That's all right. No, 44. 44 and 35. Ugh. I mean, 35 is 35, though, dog. Like, come on. 35 is 35. No matter how you spin it. Come on now. And even in game 7, like, game 7, he was cooking too. The issue is like Golden State, they couldn't contain, bro. They didn't have the flexibility to really be guarding the Golden State Warriors like that. Steph was on a burner. Steph was really on a burner in that game. So that hurt me watching that. Yeah. I guess I got to check the late games again. And that's something with Harden too. It annoyed, and we got to be honest with Harden too, because Harden be on some bullcrap sometimes in late games, bro. I don't know what decisions he be coming up with. It's like he just be trying to do too much sometimes. So like James Harden does have his flaws, without a doubt. My point is, we can look at everyone else. I think every player in NBA history has flaws. And I think all players have had certain flaws to hold them back. But what really makes teams win championships is the team's ability to make up for those certain flaws. So LeBron James, right? LeBron James, Michael Jordan, two of the greatest players we've ever seen. They had flaws that their teams made up for. LeBron James, for example, three-point shooting. What was his team that we all know you have to build off of? Guess what? You surround him with shooters, great things is going to happen. That's a flaw that the team makes up for. Michael Jordan, too. Michael Jordan was not a strong three-point shooter. They had Craig Hodges. They had Steve Kerr. They had John Paxson. They had Tony Kukoc. They got him shooters, too, for him to play off of. Needed a new coach of Phil Jackson to implement the triangles. That way they can play more team basketball rather than just him control everything, right? The team made up for some of his flaws. And those are two of the greatest. So when I even understand that two of the greatest players, what happened to help them succeed is that their team had to make up for certain flaws that they had. When we're looking at guys like James Harden, who's not as good as them, we should have more of an open mind on, okay, they lost, and we could be like, yeah, they lost because of this certain flaw. But what did the team really do to make up for that? Now, if you got a perfect scenario like Stephen Curry, right? Stephen Curry's been blessed. Stephen Curry's been blessed because He got on the crew. He got on the team. They drafted well. And it completely, like, made up for the lack of defense that he did not have. That was a flaw in Stephen Curry that he had. That teams definitely try to pick apart year in and year out. But guess what? He had the team that made up for the flaw. And then, because even Draymond Green would talk about, he would even struggle with some isolation buckets, which they definitely needed in the postseason. That definitely hurt them in 2016. Now, Steph was hurt a bit, but in 2016, that definitely hurt him. In 2015, Steph didn't look amazing, even though they won. Steph did not look amazing in the postseason. They got KD to make up for a flaw that he had at that point. So that's what you do. The greatest of the greats of players, man, they all have flaws. But it's what the team can do to make up for those flaws and how they can hide that. And that's really how you win a championship. You got your best player you build off of, you analyze them flaws, and you try your best to make up for that. A lot of times, team building is kind of stupid nowadays, in my mind. Because what teams do is, and maybe, I'm going to keep that to myself. I'm going to think about it more. But to me, it just feels like what teams do is they just try to get players. It's just amassing players. Like, they're just amassing talent. Not even looking for continuity or how to build and how to make up for each flaws in this. Like, they're not doing that. And if I'm building a team, I'm looking at, all right, I got my two best guys or my best guy. And if I know they're strong in certain areas, so I got Luka Doncic, for example. If I know he's strong in a certain area with scoring and playmaking, guess what? I don't need that much offense to really have him around there, right? I think spacing is crucial. So definitely, I think everyone needs shooters. But we got to find some more versatile guys to make up for it. And I think the Lakers are doing a great job now. I mean, you get a Marcus Smart. They need to get some I think they got to get another wing. If they're trying to get Andrew Wiggins, I think that's a great deal. Versatility, defense, that helps their team a lot. That's how you got to build your teams. You got somebody where you know they do well. It's not just grabbing names. You look at the pieces, you look how he plays, and you look at the flaws that you can make up for. And Houston did that in the later stretch of James Harden's stint with them. And then, I mean, I'm not going to defend James Harden's antics. James Harden did some bullcrap too, personally. Like, his antics was wild. So, I mean, he blew that up. And him and Chris Paul probably could have won a ring if, honestly, like, they didn't have beef with each other. So, love you. No, bro, love him. Houston was a great defense, Dub. Come on. James was surrounded by shooters. Even when they aren't making shots, he's usually provided with enough space to make a play, which is equally valuable. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, Devo, we agree. I don't think I disagreed with you here. James Harden was surrounded by shooters. Yeah, so the thing is with that space, right? Because they do provide space, but this is where the coaching comes in. Because if we got the 3-point area here, right? This is the court. You got James Harden attacking here on top. And then you have, I think they would do like maybe 4 out, 1 in, or sometimes 5 out, but a lot of 4 out, 1 in. Because Capella will play down low. You got Capella here, 2 corners, guy in the top high key. And that's very easy to defend because you got 1 point of attack right here that everyone's just keying in on. So literally all they have to do is, especially with the way they were playing defense, you stand behind him, force him in, right? He goes through the 3-point line, you force him in, send a little bit of help. He's not taking the mid-range. We know he's not taking the mid-range. So just cover. And that's because of coaching too. Just cover the paint. So you got the help with the big. Maybe you could help from the corner, or maybe you could force him right and double that help. But as soon as James kicks it, let's say if he kicks it to the corner, they help. Guess what? It's so easy to do this. You go help, and then you recover. That would happen. And then those guys ain't doing nothing with the ball. So then they just pass it back. Or maybe they do something. They're not that good with the ball in their hands because they haven't had it the whole game. So then they don't even know what to do with the ball. That's coaching. That's a lot of coaching right there. So I can't just fully put that on James Harden. Mike D'Antoni telling him not to take mid-ranges, bro. Like, Like, that's crazy. What do we do with that? You know? Mike D'Antoni's a great coach too, but dang, bro. They're cooking him. I think that flaw goes hand in hand. I'll agree with you there, Devo. I think that flaw goes hand in hand, you know? But yeah. James Harden. To me, though, like James Harden, top 15 player. I think top 15, top 20 player, without a doubt in my mind. When we get into the Karl Malones of the world, Allen Iversons of the world, John Stockton and all those guys, I mean, that's his range. And James Harden is probably leading that range. You got him and Chris Paul. Him and Chris Paul, to me, is like interchangeable. They're right next to each other for me. So they're like between that 12 all the way into 20 range. And I think that's where he belongs. And if anyone who really doesn't have him in that range, I think you're hating a bit. If you haven't, and if you're discrediting James Harden for stuff and you're not discrediting Karl Malone, John Stockton, Allen Iverson, man, you got to rethink yourself, bro. You got to rethink yourself, man. But that's all I got for today. Nothing too crazy, man. Like the video, subscribe. I'll see y'all again on another one. Yo, the season's about to start up soon, man. So I'm very excited. Let's get right. And we're just going to keep pumping content, man. Y'all be easy, bro. Salute.